Hey guys, it's Monday, April 8th, I think, or 9th. Um, I wanted to do a video because there's been some things that I have observed in my uh, support group that I just want to kind of talk about in case any of you guys uh, think this way or feel this way, or maybe this makes sense to you, and maybe uh, it may hit home. I'll just talk about it and you guys see. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for subscribing to me and your encouraging words and your kindness this past 5.5 months that I've been really sick. Um, I don't really like to talk about sicknesses, although I do bring it up on my videos only because uh, I want you guys to know what's going on with me. And, in my transition, I like to reminisce back on the things I went through and how I relate to those now. So, that being said, an update is I see the doctor on the 18th of this month. Hopefully, this valley fever is all the way gone. Uh, I have been sent to a rheumatologist. I've got discoloring in my lower legs and my feet, and the infectious disease doctor said I've been on the medication too long for that to be valley fever, and I don't have circulatory problems. I've got good pulse sensations, but my feet turn blue if I sit in a chair for very long, and even when they put the pressure cup on my arm, my hand will turn blue, and I don't feel any different than I have felt for the last 5 months, but just kind of still send me positive thoughts, guys. Like I said, I don't like to cry about things too much as far as my medical issues, but I am putting it out there to, number one, reflect back when I went through this, and two, to really thank you guys for all your thoughts and prayers and your positive energy that you have put my way. So anyway, what's going on is I'm part of a support group, and there is a mixture of FTMs and MTFs, and then we meet once a month with our families all together. What I have been finding is that sometimes when you're with a partner, or sometimes when one is with a partner, I'm not going to say you, I'm not talking to you directly, but when one is with a partner and they decide to transition, first in the excuse me, in the relationship, if it has not been made known, if you've given no signs of this person inside of you, and you've suppressed it all your lives. And when I say you guys, I'm not talking to anyone in particular. I'm just putting this out there, because it lays heavily on my heart. So anyway, one comes to that point where they can't suppress it any longer, and they could be with their partner anywhere from, let's say, 5 years on, and their partner loves them very much and supports them in everything they can do, and so the encouragement is for them to start transitioning. During the transition, we all know that transitioning goes through a phase of being very selfish. You're being reborn into who you really are. And there's a lot of physical changes. Um, from my perspective, the emotional changes is basically the happiness, the joy, the confidence, the self-esteem. All that goes higher when you look in the mirror and you see who you really are on the outside. But sometimes in these relationships, there comes a point where maybe it's not what the partner wants, but has dedicated their life, supported the person, and you'll see this in documentaries too, where they get the support from the other person, but as the transition goes on, they end up just becoming friends and splitting up. But I think there's an assumption on the trans side of things that because that other person supports one and loves the one, that everything's going to be okay or everything is okay. Sometimes I don't believe that you can think that anyone can think that a relationship doesn't change when you transition. It does change. And sometimes it's all for the positive, and then sometimes there's little rocks and there's little pebbles thrown in that that journey. And I want to reach out to you trans people that are in relationships that you see the other person really struggling or trying to be very supportive and trying to stay in that relationship and give it their all, but it's just not the same. Now here's the thing, as I believe as humans, sometimes us as humans, and we go through life and we battle the ups and we battle the downs, and we live up the ups, but yet we don't always get it. We don't always go outside of our own self and look at other people and read other people for what they're saying. Now, if you're with me, you're kind of getting what I'm saying. In these relationships, though, if you find yourself, you know, um, looking at your partner, looking over at your partner once in a while, and that person not being as happy, or that person trying to struggle and talk to you, and you get defensive because you know what's coming, or you don't want to hurt that person, or they don't want to hurt you. I guess the burden that I have for others that I've observed is that it's really sad that you work so hard to transition into yourself, and you want to bring that person who you had chosen a long time ago to make a life with, you want to bring them along with you, but it really is a selfishness that is not a part of transition, if that makes sense to you at all. And when you're wearing blinders and you're only focusing on yourself, we've got to still sit back and humble ourselves, look at our family, look at our partner, and make sure everything's still rolling along and we're all on the same page. I mean, even when pronouns, in the very beginning, when the name doesn't get right and the pronouns doesn't get right, we're all on the same page because we know it's all new. We know it's going to take a time. We understand that the family's going to transition with us. Well, what happens in these relationships is that now the trans person has become the same sex as the partner. And not always is that what the partner wants. They love the trans person with all their heart, but they just can't be with them intimately. They are not they're not attracted to that. And then, of course, many have talked about the mourning stages, that they lose that partner. And that person that used to, make them laugh as the other person, the outside person. And one of our biggest, maybe not arguments, but points of saying that we're the same person on the inside, we just weren't the same person on the outside. Yes, we are the same person, but physical things project images in which people make judgment on. And what I mean by that is people fall in love with the physical too, not just the inside person. And it's really sad for me, and it really humbles me to pray for these people that they've gone along in these relationships and try to continue on, and the other person's just so miserable they become negative. There's nothing good about life. And then the trans person's trying to make it all good and trying to constantly, you know, keep everything upright. And down deep, it's got to be known that the relationship they once had is not the same. I think it takes a bigger person, a person with a huge heart, a person who truly unconditionally loves the other person, a person who understands they're the one who changed the pathway. And to have the assumption that the partner's going to go along on the ride sometimes is taken for granted. And if the partner does give any kind of positiveness, support, doesn't mean that as changes happen, that that way of thinking is not changing too. It's taken me 51 years, and let's just say since I was probably 18. I won't go into what I've learned before then. But as an adult, I actually was out on my own at 16. Well, let's just say from 18 I was in my first relationship up till now. It took me 2 long-term relationships. It took me some bad choices for me in life to really embrace that life has handed me a little bit different pathway than everybody else. And why? I don't know why. I can assume, but I really don't know why we walk such a different pathway than other people. But in that pathway, I've had to embrace who I am, what I'm about, what is, what could be, and what isn't. And so I did. I settled. But even though I settled, I tried to get better as a human being. I tried to be all that I could be and treat people the way I wanted to be treated. And every time someone did me wrong or things didn't go the way they should have, yeah, my reaction was that natural feeling, anger, hurt, or whatever. But then there was a part of me that in my survival, I've always turned things around and said, hey, sometimes there's a reason why things don't always work out. There's a bigger picture than what we see here on Earth. Why? Because the majority of us have tunnel vision. And even though we may see outward, when it comes to us, sometimes we have tunnel vision. And I just hope that any of you out there that's watching this video and is in a relationship, that it is asked all the time. I ask Tony all the time if something's not right with her or if she seems upset. I say, hey, are you okay? She'll say, yeah. I said, it's not me, is it? She goes, no. And, I just constantly make sure she's okay, but, she is okay with me. And, in fact, she loves all of my hair more than I do. She's actually upset because I'm losing my hair with this medication. But take a minute and look at your life. Look at your relationship. Be honest with yourself. Don't be selfish. Don't say, oh, they'll come around one time, or, oh, I'll be better one time. No. You cannot assume that that people that are important to you are always okay. Even my mom, once in a while when we're talking, and I say, Mom, are you still okay with it? Oh, yeah, yeah. You know, it's not that I'm going to change anything, but it is that I care about them. And I want them to be okay. And if they're not, I want to talk it out. And in these relationships, if you get to this point where your gut feeling, it's not right, and maybe this video's helping you, and you say, maybe I should talk to the other person. If they give any inkling that they're not happy, but it's not because of you as an individual, it's just that they're not attracted to the same sex, and what is that for them the rest of their life? Do they have to settle? Ask yourself. As hurtful as things can be, it takes a bigger person to set something free than to keep it by its side and drag it along, because eventually those feelings, uh, they're going to come out, and it's not always going to be a happy-go-lucky atmosphere at your home. Think of the other person. If you truly love them unconditionally, like we expect when we assume everybody else does us, give them the benefit of the doubt. Take some time out of your daily transition and look outside the circle there, and see how that person's doing, and see if they're okay with everything. If you've got a lot invested, you know what? It takes time, but let it go. Let them go. It may not have been in the framework when you decided to transition, but if you put it in a framework and it's not strong, it's gonna buckle down the road. No matter how much you fight for it, no matter how much you cry tears over it and get mad at each other and then make up, it's always going to come around to the same thing. And it's okay, because the other person doesn't have to be with the same person. They'll always love you. It's just heavy on my heart, and I just hope that anyone that watches me, whether it applies to you or you know someone or you've seen it yourself in other relationships of trans people, please say a prayer for them. If you're close enough, talk to them. Talk to the trans person. If you get what I'm saying, just take a moment of your day for the other person. Alright, I'm going to be doing another video here in a little bit, about me, about other stuff. So, anyway, sorry for taking so long. I needed to get this off my shoulders and share it, and hopefully maybe if someone else has seen that or dealing with that, maybe this has helped in any way. You can inbox me, or you can always email me, and I'll inbox me and I'll send you my email. Okay, guys, talk to you later. Bye.